So unless you're at 100 million ARR, you should not worry about price optimization in SaaS at all. Okay, so if you have a SaaS business and you're doing reasonably well, you might be thinking, hey, my prices are maybe a little dusty. Maybe I should try and run some optimization on them. And that is likely not the right thing to focus on. And this is coming from a pricing consultant. I've done a lot of price optimization projects, and I'd like to sell you one, but it's likely not the thing that you need. Here's why. So if you are not in a consolidated market and you're actually growing a product, growing a category, or taking market share and so forth, eking out the last 2, 3, 5, 6%, which is what optimization work really is starting to get at some sort of elasticity measurement, like a relationship between your conversion rate and your price. We say, well, if we raise our prices from 89 per user to 99 per user, then our conversion rate will only drop from 19% to 18.5%, and that makes sense. Great, okay, but you're spending a lot of execution power and data power and operational power on making that small adjustment. That is a small adjustment, right? If you're below 100 million ARR, you likely want to grow, let's say, 40%. And if you're small, if you're in Series A or B, and right, likely want to grow like 200-300% this year, right? So why are you worrying about optimizing 3, 4, 5, 6%? That's really not where the money is, right? If you can get to 100 million ARR really fast and you're not optimal, maybe that pricing could have been 105. Who cares, right? You got there by focusing on your market and focusing about your product and focusing on the value proposition and the whole organizational development and so forth. Not about eking out the last 2 or 3%, right? So what you should worry about instead is what I call price positioning. And price positioning is simply having relatively sort of accurate measurements of what the market is willing to bear, but not precise ones. Optimization is sort of precise measurement. Is it 99 or 95? Accuracy positioning is something like, is it 100 or 150 or 500? These are the increments of the blocks that you should be thinking in terms of pricing. So usually what I will do, if I do any kind of A/B split testing or pricing for SaaS companies, I usually work at the increments of 100%, right? Okay, you're charging $10 per user today. Let's test 20, 30, 50, and 100, and let's see where that goes. Because that's usually where we'll sort of figure out if we're way off price. And that's where the money is. And if we then figure out that 30 is better than 20, we're not going to spend time on 28 and 29 and so forth. So do the overall positioning and figure out where roughly you should be in the market, and then worry about everything else. Then when you get to 100 million, you've consolidated, everybody knows you, you have real like double-digit market share and so forth. Now you can start to actually sort of use price optimization to eke out those last percentage points and so forth. But that's usually when your growth has slowed down well below 25%, right? So don't worry about it yet. It's a relatively big lift from an organization to do all the consistent data gathering and testing and building the data models and so forth to do actual real price optimization. And it's actually not worth it for where you are. So just do the positioning instead. Just figure out like roughly what kind of value do we have in the market, like settle there, make sure that it's accurate, that customers are not running or screaming away, and then focus about executing that, executing the value, executing the organization and everything else, and you'll be just fine.